They were interesting times. We headed down to West Lakes for the very first time. We didn't have a name, we didn't have a symbol, we didn't have colours, we had nothing. We were just a bunch of players coming together to be basically the state team that was going to represent South Australia in the AFL. There were some ATCO huts around. We weren't sure where they were going to build some offices. We weren't sure who had positions, who was the CEO, who was the chairman. Everything was uncertain, and his idea of being better than the teams over there in the AFL was if they did 100 metre sprints, then the boys back here at the team yet to be named, they were going to do 110 100-metre sprints. So we trained harder, we trained longer, and we listened to Cornsey probably a whole lot more than we needed to do at that stage.
Subject to AFL approval, we would be hopeful of making those announcements later in the week as to what the name of the club, the colours of the club and the logo will be.
We're the pride of South Australia, the mighty Capri Crows. We're courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our foes.
The fans packed Football Park to cheer the AFL's newest club, but not really knowing what to expect. Grantley Filkey gave them some indication in the first 3 minutes. It was a 5-2 final term by the Crows and a convincing 27-point victory in their very first match against an AFL side. By three-quarter time, it was all over. A deficit of 68 points was impossible to make up. Dermot Brereton and Paul Deere were reported for sandwiching captain Chris McDermott, who ended up dazed but conscious and with a night in hospital as a precaution. At the final siren, the Crows 86-point winners. There were plenty of stars, and for the Hawks, plenty of long faces.
That is the mark of the year. I'll say now, no one will beat that. That's the biggest leap since Gillett Porter ran second in the 56 Olympic Games.
Tony Modra, goal number 100 for the season. He kicks. I think he's got it. Well done, Anthony Modra. Great effort by the champion football. Here they come.
As the Crows booted away to a 7-goal lead by half-time, the mood was euphoric.
Robbed by Victorian umpires and robbed by a bomb scare.
I think we'll all know that one of the great opportunities to win a premiership has been missed, because this year, more than any year in any competition, I think, was a winnable grand final and a premiership there to be grabbed and taken. And
while Robert Shaw headed to Melbourne at 6 o'clock this morning, believed to be looking for a position in football in Victoria. Again, he refused to comment on his departure.
The Adelaide Football Club is closer to home than anything else I've ever done in football, so I think there is some attraction there.
Less than 24 hours ago, new coach Malcolm Blight said players would go, and the club has wasted no time starting the rebuilding process.
And when Darren Jarman went forward in the last, it was like deja vu. Just ask the Western Bulldogs.
Robert and Whiteley. Back towards Jarman. Jarman! Yes! Darren Jarman!
So there's nothing left now but to celebrate.
But this was the moment that Adelaide had been waiting for.
To the Adelaide Crows.
They've been to Perth, to Melbourne, to Sydney, to Melbourne, and they've come back.
I think it's a dream come true for most of the players, and for Malcolm to get back as well is fantastic.
The club has today regretfully accepted the resignation of Malcolm Blight, as senior coach of the club, effective from the last match of this season.
Obviously stunned and shocked would probably be the first two words come to mind, and obviously it's been a good 3 years that we've had with Malcolm, and it's obviously sad to see him leave.
He's definitely taught the players a hell of a lot, and the fact that he's not going to be teaching us anymore is probably going to be the hardest thing.
Wayne Carey telling Crows chief exec Stephen Trigg he wanted to become a Crow. The Crows package will net Carey around $1.6 million over 3 years.
They all ran out, and she was on for young and old.
How many players involved?
At least 10 from each team. There was punches, blokes being thrown on cars.
If you call that a big incident, then you've had a pretty sheltered life.
Adelaide, Emrashuto, one vote. There is a three-way tie for the Brownlow medal. A. Goods, Emrashuto and N. Buckley.
It really is a dream. I can't believe I'm up here. I'm probably more nervous than I've been for in my whole lifetime, but I'm bloody glad I won it.
The Crows simply dominated the second half. They kicked 14 goals to 2.
Not a bad effort, not bad, it's better than that.
The Crows have never lost so much talent and experience at the end of a season.
The club's been fined $300,000 and they've lost their first and second picks for next year's national draft. CEO Stephen Trigg, well, he's been fined $50,000 and been banned from being involved in football for 6 months.
Today's outcome somehow represents the end of the Kurt Tippett affair.
And will accept any result. Now, most likely that's going to be 6-2, which will mean they have a team in the SANFL's league competition next year.
And after months of speculation, the Power and Crows have taken over their licences from the SANFL.
Queues started more than 5 hours before the first bounce. It was a picture-perfect setting from the ground and from up above. But for Showdown 36, the rivalry was as fierce as ever.
To me yesterday, that was a bit of a shock because I certainly didn't see it coming, and that can happen in this industry though.
We won't accept mediocrity. Our fans and supporters don't accept mediocrity.
Everything was looked at, and unfortunately the result is I've lost my job.
After more than 20 years as a right-hand man, this afternoon Walsh took centre stage.
Literally blew us away through multiple stages of that process.
I've been to Adelaide Oval, I know what it's like. I want to win. I don't want to walk off there losing.
Burst through, Eddie Betts. Not his pocket. And no